At least the WNBA got it right, and they actually play for a championship, not like these guys that play for the NBA Cup. Dear God, let's go.
On your mark, get set. Let's go.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning. Kevin Durant, you should have never left California.
This Brownsexual upset me in having to bring this teenage idiot from Wisconsin into a sports conversation. Are you really surprised the Cowboys are giving up on Ezekiel Elliott?
Whoa. Hell no! Well, no one cares about baseball.
Bitch, are you for real?
Oh, yeah!
Y'all know what time it is. Good morning. Welcome to the Taco Tripped Out Transient Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us on all of our networks, audio and video. The big dog Shane Lake joins me up in Maine, and of course Vic Allah joins me from Chicago. Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
What's poppin'? Good morning, Snowman, and whoo, doggy. What a draft.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired.
Why do you
think I've been blowing through monsters left and right this morning? It's the only way my ass is staying awake.
Why can't the NBA draft be this good?
Me and monsters don't get along. And I will tell you why. I was driving back from Indianapolis one day, some 20 odd years ago, and I needed to stay awake because I wanted to get home and get to bed. I went into a Speedway, which began my love affair with Speedway, and I was dragging bad. Victor, you've been on trips with me, and you know when I'm tired. I was dragging bad, and someone suggested that I drink a Monster. It would have enough caffeine to get me through. They lied. I pounded that Monster all throughout. When I got as far as West Lafayette, Indiana, and my body rebelled. My body said, nope, I ain't having this. And you know, when you're driving, you feel yourself getting sleepy, and you lean in closer to the wheel, and your head gets heavy, and then you just sit back and you read. That was me.
What's crazy is that doesn't even have really an effect on me anymore.
Oh, Lord. Well, speaking of effects,
what a draft.
The WNBA had their draft last night, and what a star-studded class.
Yep.
Woo!
And how?
We all know who went first.
Yes.
Okay,
yep.
That's obvious.
You be a fool now.
And we all know what the Caitlin Clark effect is going to have. We will discuss that in a couple of minutes. What I love is what the Chicago Sky did at 3 and 7. And Victor, you called this yesterday.
Yes, I did.
When you said they could snatch Camila Cardoso from South Carolina, a most outstanding player, and then they could snatch Angel Reese from LSU. And your only question is what the Sparks would do in the fourth slot.
Right, exactly. Because you knew it was going to happen in the second slot, but that fourth slot was a bit of a mystery.
Yep.
In that fourth slot, they go with Rickea Jackson out of Tennessee, a small forward. I didn't think they'd go with the forward, but as we saw later in the draft with all the guards being taken, this turned out to be a good move for them.
Man, you talk about two amazing picks. I'm willing to bet the Sky are making a push for the championship already.
Oh, they have to be. These two moves are going to set them up for it. I mean, Angel Reese protecting the rim.
Yes.
And then getting an offensive player like Cardoso.
Yes.
And we saw Cardoso in that national championship game against Iowa just go completely off. And we saw what Angel Reese can do, even on a bad ankle, 17 points and 20 rebounds.
Yes.
All right.
She will be the one to lift up a team for sure.
Yes, she will. Especially going at 7. Because we all projected she would probably go number 2 or number 3 behind Caitlin Clark. So she can use this motivation and say, oh, you guys are going to pick me at 7? Okay, I got y'all.
Cork board material.
Yep.
The Wings had 2 picks in the draft, but it's the first one that got me. J.C. Sheldon out of Ohio State, a shooting guard. And you know something? Secret weapon.
Yeah.
Secret weapon. That's all I got to say. Secret weapon for Dallas.
Yes.
He ain't going to be so secret after a couple of games.
No, she's not. And I love what DC did at 6, selecting Aaliyah Edwards out of UConn, power forward. Man, this is a star-studded class.
It really is.
Okay.
You couldn't really find any bad projections in this class. You couldn't find any bad prospects in this class.
No, you really couldn't. This was really loaded from top to bottom.
Yeah. We haven't seen this in any other sport.
No, we really don't. There's always been 1 or 2 waste picks early in the draft, and then you'll see maybe 1 or 2 more towards the back end of the first round.
Yeah, you see a lot of duds.
This has not been a draft class of a wasted pick.
Especially the first round, 1 through 12 were some dynamite picks, and all 12 of these are going to have an immediate impact on their team. We already know the impact that Caitlin Clark is going to have with the Indiana Fever. 36 of their 40 games are going to be televised, as Shane mentioned yesterday. And I wouldn't be surprised if all 40 somehow get televised.
I guarantee you Caitlin Clark isn't just going to have an effect on the Indiana Fever. It's going to be an effect all over the WNBA.
Oh, yeah.
This will be a financial bomb for the WNBA.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a boom like no other, because you already have one team in the Las Vegas Aces changing their arena for Caitlin Clark's appearance.
Yeah.
They changed their arena for Caitlin Clark's appearance. I wouldn't be surprised if it's that way across the board.
It'll have to be. It'll have to be, because imagine how many people, not just from Indiana, will go over to the Vegas game, but how many people from Iowa will go to the Vegas
will
game.
go there. A lot of people from Iowa go there. Heck, I would say people from Ohio would go there too.
Man, you got the whole city of Iowa City that's going to travel with this team.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's only a couple hours.
You got the whole city that's going to travel with this team. Another wild card pick for me was made by Dallas when they selected Carla Leite. I hope I said that right. Out of France, another shooting guard.
Right.
Another shooting guard. So they're going to load up with shooters.
Yeah, they're stuck in offense.
And then what they did in the second and third rounds was they selected a couple of more bigs, and they mixed everything up. So Dallas is coming off of their WNBA semifinals appearance, and they want to get to the finals, period. They want to get to the finals and compete for that championship.
They're fixing the gaps that they had, which was at the shooting guard, and now they're reinforcing up front.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Chicago. Camila Cardoso in the post, and Angel. Well, you got 2 post players, Angel Reese and Camila Cardoso. And mind you, the pedigree on these two is outstanding, because you have the back-to-back most outstanding players of the Final Four. Angel Reese in 23 and 24, Camila Cardoso. And these two were outstanding in their tournament runs. Outstanding. Now, and plus, Angel Reese can handle the ball.
Yes, you can. Take note, Chicago Bears. This is how you actually fleece a draft.
Exactly.
Yep. What's going to be damning for everybody going up against Chicago? You just said it. Angel Reese can actually handle. She can run the point.
Yes,
but
she can.
Her size, she can also go inside. So it's going to take a lot of pressure off the guards to have somebody who can handle a ball with her size.
You have an inside-outside threat.
It's going to be the guard line, and we'll go over that in a little bit. It's going to be the guard line that's going to be the key for Chicago to get them in their offense quickly, because when Allie Quigley and Courtney Vandersloot were with them and helped them on their way to their championship, they got them in their offense quickly. Now you have a point forward in Angel Reese that could get them into their offense quickly. So in essence, two birds with one stone killed by the Chicago Sky.
Yes.
Easily.
Now we get to the feature. And if you don't know, you won't know. There's a young lady by the name of Caitlin Clark who has set the world on fire, who has set women's college basketball ablaze.
Mm-hmm.
Set women's sports ablaze. Let's be real here.
Lit the fuse.
Set sports ablaze. Let's just be real.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
In the last 2 years, Caitlin Clark has set the world of sports ablaze, especially this past year, where she averaged 31 points per game, almost 32 points per game.
Broke a record too.
I was about to say, look at the record she smashed this year.
Record or records?
Records. For sure.
That's what I'm saying. Record or records? Because she smashed a lot of them.
Yep.
Now she takes her talents to the Indiana Fever. And Jay Spivey said this a while ago. She had an extra year of eligibility left. She could have easily stayed and gotten that NIL money for an extra year, because the salaries in the WNBA pale in comparison to what the students are making and can make.
Oh, they're woefully small. They're woefully small.
We all know how Caitlin will get that back and then some.
You just took the thought out of my head. You just took the thought out of my head. She is going to reverse that big time, because not only do you bring ticket sales, not only do you bring fans, you bring the most important thing. That is two most important things: investors and advertisers.
Sponsors are going to be chomping at the bit for Caitlin.
They're going to be chomping at the bit for this class.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They're going to be chomping at the bit for this class, man. I'm excited.
I am too.
I'm excited for the first time in a while. I'm excited to cover the WNBA this year. It's going to be off the charts.
Yes, indeed.
And yes, I'm paying attention to Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. Now, I want to say this before we go to break. Diana Taurasi said something said, quote, reality is going to hit her, meaning that Caitlin Clark will have some growing pains. Duh.
We know that.
That's expected. We know it doesn't mean that Caitlin's still not going to average at least good 20, 25 points.
Heck, all these girls are good. All these women are going to hit growing pains. It's going to be their first year.
Yeah, exactly.
And all going to get growing pains.
And I understand where Taurasi's coming from. Don't get me wrong. I understand where Taurasi is coming from. But at the same time, don't you guys get the feeling that Caitlin Clark, Carmilla Cardoso, Cameron Brink, JC Sheldon, Angel Reese, especially, let's go 1-7, Clark and Reese. We've had this discussion before, and I think we'll tailor this and go into the second segment with this. Don't you think these two can play a similar role that Magic Johnson and Larry Bird did in 1979?
Yeah.
Easily.
Well, we're going to discuss that even further as well as go through the rest of the first round, because there was some international flavor in back-to-back picks. I'm not making this up. Back-to-back picks had an international flavor. We'll tell you who they are when y'all get back.
Trisha's having a sleepover tonight. Can I go?
I wonder about Lucy's friends. What should I say? I know you're only 10, but one of these days a friend will offer you a drink. And alcohol at your age can lead to so many things. None of them good.
So can I go to the sleepover?
Lucy, I want you to promise me
I
something.
finished my homework.
Bigger promise. If there's any drinking, I want you to say, "No thanks, not my thing."
Mom.
I promise you, your real friends won't care. Deal?
Sure.
Really?
I promise, Mom.
They really do hear you.
Did you pack your toothbrush?
For tips on how to start the talk, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. A public service message from the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Yo, camping buddy. Okay, you guys ready?
Dude, I thought you were driving.
I thought you were driving.
Oh, I never said I was driving.
I definitely can't drive.
If you're high, just don't drive. It's illegal everywhere. If you feel different, you drive different.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s,
affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
How many letters?
5 letters.
Just think about, what am I doing right now?
Smile. Smile?
Uh-huh.
This is so easy.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals, chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
I don't want to grow up. I'm basically a man-child. 2005 Burning Man. I put a single Mitsubishi 170-watt panel on the roof of my F-250, and I killed the batteries within like 15 minutes of the first time turning them on. So that's when I first got into solar. I was blown away by the customer service at Battleborn.
We want them to be happy with our product, because in the long run, they're the ones who are out there using it.
When you used to buy something American, like a car, something you knew was built really well, that's what I think of with Battleborn.
Race car drivers change lanes very fast, but with no outside mirrors. How come they don't crash? Introducing Angel View, the new wide-angle mirror that reduces blind spots. Angel View simply snaps over your car's rear view mirror, giving you a 160-degree view behind you. Just look at the difference. Look, ordinary rear view mirrors are small and flat, but Angel View has a huge mirror with curved glass. This convex shape allows you to see both blind spots with one glance. And with our Pro Edition special coating, it's anti-glare at night. Get your Angel View now for just $19.99. But wait, Angel View may be discontinued. Due to rising costs, Angel View is stopping manufacturing effective immediately. Once the current inventory is gone, it's gone forever. Order now.
Call 1-800-495-0761. That's 1-800-495-0761. Or visit getangelview.com. Order now.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
These two fools have had me laughing the entire break because as I was getting ready to discuss the remainder of the first round of the WNBA draft, we had an R-Truth conversation. So I said, you know what? Let's bring some humor into this before we finish off what we need to finish off. And Victor, this is your fault.
Me?
You!
What'd I do?
You open your mouth.
I was
Wait,
talking about R-Truth.
Let me say it correctly. You open your mouth.
I was talking about R-Truth. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, but during the break to the point where I was cracking up before we went back on the air.
That's not my fault.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Why not?
I'm
gonna get blamed for this.
Because I didn't make you laugh. R-Truth made you laugh. You chose to laugh.
You open your mouth.
That's not my fault.
There's a joke somewhere, but I can't make it here.
No, you cannot.
Can't.
We'll talk during the break.
Yeah.
But I can do this.
Hey. God help me.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen.
Please stop.
I'm still involved. Oh, shut up, my boy. I'm still involved. Oh, I'm still them boys. I'm still them boys.
Stop it. I'm calling the Geneva
Stop
Convention
it.
on you. I'm calling the Geneva Convention on you.
Did y'all notice how his hat was cocked to the side?
I'm calling the Geneva Convention on you. That's a war crime, and you know it.
First of all, who the hell is the Geneva Convention? And second of all, why are you calling them against me?
Who has the button?
Huh?
Who has the button? I sure
do.
don't. No,
Yes,
I
you
don't.
do.
No,
Yes,
I
you
don't.
do.
No, I don't.
There's the humor of R-Truth, and then there's a nonsensical BS that's Tam.
Exactly.
Folks, you will see Tam later on in the show.
Oh, God. Please, no.
Hell no.
Hell
Bishop
yes.
Bullwinkle, please.
Bullwinkle, we need some help here.
I think what the guys are telling me about Tam is
Hell no. To the no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no.
God help us all here.
as I said and warned, you will see Tam later on in the show.
God, no.
Oh, you got to. Will you cut that out?
The comedic uppercuts by the legendary Cole Johnson.
I think that uppercut was to get even with me for playing Tam.
Yeah, it is. That is a
I don't know
crime.
Why is that a crime?
That's a
the
Why is that a
FTSC.
crime?
The FTSC wants to investigate this show now.
That is assault and battery on brain cells.
We are
That's
so
why.
far off the rails. It's more than just a regular train wreck, dude. We just took out 3 other trains with it.
Well, that's why I played that.
The singing of
Like
the
I said,
the singing of the national anthem for the Moronic Republic of Cowboys Nation is a crime punishable to 10 to 20 years in
Like I
federal
said,
prison.
Like
We
I
ain't
said,
catching me doing that.
the FTSC wants to investigate this show. That's how far off the tracks we've gotten.
Disgusting.
Disgusting.
God,
I think it was necessary.
No,
necessary
it was not.
bull.
Necessary.
How
my
does
eye.
the humor of our truth equate to the unnecessary BS that's Pam?
Exactly.
Humor. That's easy. Humor.
That's humor for
There's
you.
humor and then there's stupidity.
That's humor for you. Because
I think
you're
I think what the boys are telling me is this.
Stop it. Get some help.
Take the advice of His Royal Airness, please.
Please.
God help us all.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
I got a cobra-headed cane off to my left. I don't want to have to use it this early in the show.
Oh, I got a cane of my own that I don't want to use this early in the show.
I'll meet you in the middle.
Exactly. I don't have a cane. I have a broomstick, and I'll use it.
Man, that broomstick
Mexican
will break
standoff.
Mexican.
A Mexican standoff already? Okay.
One more person in here, we get a fatal 4-way going.
Right.
Although I'll be the first one. I will freely admit I'll be the first one to bow out.
Right.
I'll stand in the middle of the ring. Screw it.
I'll be the first one to bow out.
Can we please put the motor back on the track and get done with this?
No. This is too much fun.
Yeah,
all right,
true.
let's get down to business. We talked about the Chicago Sky and the 2 picks they made in the first round. The pick they made in the second round is where I want to concentrate. Brenna Maxwell out of Gonzaga.
Interesting.
I kind of like this pick.
Why? She'll be a playmaker.
She's a sharpshooter.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she is a sharpshooter.
Oh yeah.
And it's according to a lot, it's going to be a complete rebuild with the Chicago Sky, and I totally understand why.
Yeah.
Because they lost a lot of pieces. The main piece they lost 2 years ago was Candace Parker. When they lost Candace Parker, they lost their team, and then everybody was jettisoned, one way or another. So now this is a complete rebuild for Chicago. I have to see how all this plays out.
Oh, for sure.
Now, will you tell Victor? You tell some of the people that are some of the stuff our truth did that had me cracking up before we came back on the air for this segment. Will you please? We're already off the rails, so the hell with it.
Oh man, the one time where he's in there with Brock Lesnar, and he says, "I'm officially declaring myself into the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to throw you over the top rope, Paul Heyman." And the look on Paul's face was like, huh? It's like, I'm not in the match. Brock's in the match. And after he paused, he's like, oh, really? Oh, this on me. My bad. I'm officially undeclaring myself for the Royal Rumble. I've never seen someone declare and then rescind their declaration for the Royal Rumble before.
In 30 seconds.
R-Truth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is legendary.
In 30 seconds. What was the other one you told me about? He threw a ladder in the ring.
Oh, yeah. Royal
Shane.
Rumble. This was like, what, a year or so ago, I think it was?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the Royal Rumble. He comes out the whole 9 yards. He's a late entrant.
Mm-hmm.
He decides to go under the ring, grab a ladder, drag it out, throw it in the ring, set it up while everyone else is fighting. They're all just watching what he's doing. He climbs up the ladder. There's no briefcase, Truth. Oh.
My favorite one that he's done this year, the Women's Royal Rumbles, is in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
Valhalla is coming in, right? Sarah Logan.
Yep.
She's about to go in the match. R-Truth pushes her out of the way and jumps in the ring. He's like, and he stops and looks at all of them. He's like, "Where the guys at?" And they're like, "Truth, this is the Women's Royal Rumble." Adam Pearce like, this is how you know how good R-Truth is. Adam
and
Pearce,
it's because of that Sarah Logan got eliminated.
Yeah, Adam Pearce, who is like supposed to be like the straight man of the group. He's supposed to be like all serious, no nonsense.
He's the GM of Raw.
Yes. He's like, "Truth, this is the Women's Royal Rumble," and you can see him trying to hold back his laughter.
Trying to hold back.
I was just like, "Oh, my bad."
Okay, they debuted the new World Tag Team Championships last night.
Yes.
Miz and Truth, the current champions, got the new belts. Get rid of those red strapped copper pennies for now officially 10 pounds of gold.
Yes.
R-Truth is cracking jokes about little Jimmy and everybody's a Houdini because where these championships come from, and where's Triple H? All I see is a Houdini over here. Triple H is just like, "Can I get out of here now?"
Yeah.
He grabs the old championships, he hands the new ones over to Truth and Miz, and just walks out shaking his head like, "What the hell is going on here?"
The thing is that Triple H has had a knack of trying to stop things before he breaks character, starts laughing. A perfect example, the woo-off between Kurt Angle and Ric Flair.
Woo!
These two start going woo, and Triple H, you can see Triple H, he's trying to keep himself from laughing. And he just yells, enough, that's enough. But R-Truth, man, funniest, also another funny thing he's seen is when
I saw the latter clip.
There's one that I think is so funny was he's going against the Big Show, right? And everyone knows Big Show's finisher was the knockout punch, the KO.
Yep.
He says, "Nope, I got you." And he punches him in the face and falls down. And you see Big Show just crack it up. And R-Truth is like squinting is opening one eye, like, is he there? He's still there? So did you say asleep? I'll say asleep.
Now, you want to talk about Triple H breaking character. One of the clips we have here, The Rock. That whole leading into it prior, The Rock is listing off all of his achievements, and then he drops the infamous, "The other thing you're not is undisputed champion, so shut up, bitch." If you played that clip any further, Triple H is laughing.
Yes.
Triple H is legitimately laughing at The Rock because of how funny that moment was.
Yes.
Triple H ain't afraid to break character.
No.
You know what?
His work with the Judgment Day has been so amazing.
It's been unbelievable.
He does this thing where he tries to get the Judgment Day to like him. And every time you see Priest in the back, he is trying to keep himself from laughing. Every time.
Well, when Victor and I were both at Chicago State talking about breaking character, Victor was evil.
Oh no!
When I met him, because Victor knows I'm a goofball. Okay, y'all know I'm a goofball. Can't help it. Victor would purposely try to make me break character, and 99.5% of the time he succeeded. But there was this one time we were both in studio. Victor was asked to guard some food.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm going, okay, free food. I reach over to touch it, and Victor puts a hand on my chest, and I'm going, what are you doing? You can't touch that. Why not? It's not yours. Well, it's sitting here. It's not yours. Well, I'm going to eat it anyway. No, you're not. Victor stands up. I stand up. And people start surrounding the studio. I look at Victor, and he looks at me. And we both have a straight face, but we're trying so hard not to bust out laughing.
Yes.
To the point where, Big Dog, we are whispering to each other, don't laugh, don't laugh, Don't
Please
laugh.
don't laugh.
Because I wasn't gonna eat. I wasn't gonna eat
calling the spot.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
I wasn't gonna eat the young lady's food. I had already eaten. I was just messing with Victor.
Yeah. I even
But
said,
then-
Snowman, I won't fight you for many things. I will fight you for this food.
And right there, I started cracking up in my head.
Yes.
When he said that, I started cracking up in my head. And Victor and I are like nose to nose, and we're just sitting there going, "Don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh." Then our friend Derek shows up.
Yeah.
Comes flying in the studio.
Yep.
Gets a hold of Victor. And I think he was trying to do another joke, but it came out wrong.
Yes, yes.
But when he got a hold of Victor, he utters the words, "Bend over." And I lost it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody in the studio was gone.
That joke was basically every time someone does something stupid, they have to pay the penalty.
Yes.
Which means you
Yes,
bend over,
yes.
you get a smack on the back of the head.
Right.
But the fact that we're sitting here in this pseudo serious moment, and all you hear is bend over, and we're like, "Whoa, what?" And we lost it.
We were done.
We lost it.
There were like 15. There were like 15 people around the studio. There were 15 people around the studio, and we all fell out. John, my boss, fell out.
Man.
And when we could get our boss to laugh out loud,
that was a feat.
That was a feat. That was a feat and a half. I'll never forget that.
So we talk about wrestling.
I was about to say, I think we done lost this segment.
Yeah, I think we did.
Screw it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Speaking of wrestling, what are you guys' favorite wrestling gaffes? Misstep, bloopers, that type of stuff.
I got one word for you, and it's a series on YouTube, Botchamania.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite one.
That's all of it for me.
My favorite one was from Booker T.
Oh, no.
Take your pick, because I may know where this is going.
Oh, you know exactly where this one is going. It's one of
Yep.
the original ones. Because Booker T is known to be really, really good on the mic. Like, really solid.
Mm-hmm.
He, Stevie Ray, and
Queen
Charmel.
Not Queen
Charmel.
No, it wasn't Sherry.
Sherry.
Queen Sherry.
There you go.
Oh, no.
Sherry Martel. They're talking the back, and I guess they're gonna try to get the tag team champions. And he says, "We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we're coming for you." Bleep. And an N-bomb drops.
Yep, there was no bleep of that, and you know when he said it, the look on his face.
He put his head in his hands.
Yes.
And Sherry, bless her
was
heart.
consoling them.
Yes. Bless her heart. This is why I love Sherry Martel. Most people don't like her. I love Sherry because she's sitting there rubbing his back with this big grin, like, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know what's crazy? Want to know what's crazy about that? Vince McMahon, 2005, I think it was.
I
when Cena
remember
was
this.
still doing the whole
Thugonomics gimmick. Yep.
He was just in between the Thugonomic and the Marine.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Cena's got the spinner belt, walking around, and Vince has got this whole. He's walking around like he's got something shoved straight up his butthole.
That's per usual.
He runs into Cena, and he looks dead at Cena. What's up, ma? Beep.
Yep.
Oh, uncensored. The camera pans.
Beep.
The camera pans around to Booker T and Queen Charmel.
Yes.
And Booker's look. Tell me I did not just hear that.
Tell me he did not just say that. But this is the thing. I will give Vince this. Vince is willing to put himself through total humiliation.
And he's done so.
To get to get what he wants, to put himself in a prime position for business. He's willing to allow himself to be humiliated. How many times have you allowed yourself to get stunned by Austin over and over and again?
He can't sell the stunner for crap, but he still lets it happen.
Yes.
He still lets it happen. The Rock oversold the stunner and made me crack up laughing.
I'll tell you this little story right quick. When I went to Wizard World one year, I got a chance to meet Booker T. And in between this little sessions they were at, and we just got a chance to talk for a little bit. And I said, how many people come up to you about the Hulk Hogan promo? And he kind of smiled and he just looked down and shook his head. He said, man, you got no idea how many people tell me about that story. It's something I'm going to live for the rest of my life.
And we just did it again
but
here.
He's such a good sport about it. Because I apologize. I'm sorry. He said, no, it's fine. It was in the heat of the moment. I was going through the progressions, and it came out.
That happened.
But it's those wrestling gaffes that you see are just so doggone hilarious.
Man, there are so many gaffes that I see, period, that have me laughing. But in wrestling, it's worse.
Oh my God!
I'm laughing so loud I wake the house up.
Another great
all
one
I gotta
was,
say.
Go ahead, Shane.
I was about to say, all I got to say about it is, I am the table.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Another really good one was this one wasn't all that funny, but was the John Cena Batista gaff during the Royal Rumble.
I was about to say, is it we talking about the double elimination
or
the fact that Vince McMahon ran out to the ring so fast he blew both of his damn quads getting in the ring?
Well, here's what happened. He actually slammed his legs into the side of the ring. And so when he does that, he tears one quad. So he tries to shift all his weight onto his other leg, and that pops the other quad. So now he's sitting on the ground just screaming at people. And
yikes.
Like, what do we do?
And we go through the whole thing of Cena tosses Batista over the top. I won. Batista comes back in, gets rid of Cena. I won. And then it's like, we got to restart this. And within 10 seconds, Batista's like, screw you, Cena. You're out of here.
Yeah.
One of the biggest blunders in the world of wrestling is right there.
Yes. Yes. So everyone talks about too.
Gracious. Let's take a break. I gotta go get some more water. But later on in the show, we're going to be talking about the
national championship quarterback.
And 29 touchdown passes last year. This one's knocked up. Bowers tips it to himself, and he'll score. Touchdown, Georgia.
That'll be later.
Yes,
next, the debut of the hockey god. And yes,
my guy.
Droid will join me next to talk some hockey. Who's going to win the Stanley Cup? Find out when y'all get back.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
Hey everyone, I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, AKA Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got CarShield and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I don't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave CarShield a call. Coverage was very affordable and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic, they called CarShield and saved my family and I $2,400.
CarShield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give CarShield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
CarShield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
And we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business, also just make some awesome friends.
Alicia.
You can't hold somebody to that standard if you haven't voiced what you want and what you're needing from that.
Mika.
If you're not communicating expectations, you're waiting for your feelings to be hurt.
Nicole.
A lot of people don't want to take the time out to be alone and to get themselves together.
Ivan.
You got to be willing to work through stuff. And from the jump street y'all done had problems, maybe you don't need to be working through those.
BS3 Network proudly presents Queen 3 and King podcast. Live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to this Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have you all with us. This portion is brought to you in part by Fanatics, officially licensed everything. Speaking of everything, I had a hard time finding someone who knew everything and dove into everything about hockey. And y'all know I'm a hockey maniac, but I couldn't cover everything. Fortunately, old Snowman found someone who did. I want y'all to help me welcome and help me introduce the debut of the hockey god. He's known as Droid Online. This is Shane Creighton, and he joins me right now. Good morning, my friend. Great to have you.
Good morning. As you can see, it's pretty bright outside.
Yep.
It's a good day.
It's bright out here too. Expecting another 80-degree day, man. How are you? Great to have you, and thanks for coming on.
I appreciate you having me on, man. Like, we got a lot of things to cover. I think one of the biggest things, is one of the fourth things I listed, and it's Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on there?
Well, we talked about it yesterday briefly, and I want you to expand on this. Gary Bettman just won't let Arizona go because the deal is the Coyotes are moving to Utah. But he put a condition in there saying that if that group in the next 5 years builds an arena and they come out and support it, that they'll be granted an expansion team. Why won't Gary Bettman? I mean, we saw the failed experiment in Atlanta with the Thrashers, okay? Yeah. No playoff appearances, or maybe one playoff appearance in their whole time there. We see the success of the Florida Panthers, and congrats to the Panthers last year. I see you representing the Panthers. But why do you think he won't let Arizona go? What is up with this?
I mean, when you look at it, you got to see, the Phoenix Suns, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Arizona Diamondbacks. There's already 3 of the 4 major sports. Gary Bettman wants to make it a Big 4 state. So he's really trying to keep hockey there. And with all the money that the Arizona government has that they put towards the other teams, he's hoping that the government will actually fund the NHL. But so far, they're not too interested. They only have a couple of people behind their backs right now.
You know what's wild? They are barely interested in the Diamondbacks, and that interest peaked when they made an unprecedented run and an unsuspected run to the World Series last year. There is the difference between the other 3 teams, Cardinals included, and the Arizona Coyotes. The other 3 teams either won a championship or participated in a championship round. Big difference.
And also, the difference between the Arizona Coyotes and those 3 teams is that they all play in a permanent arena. The Arizona Coyotes play in the Arizona Sun Devils Arena, Mullet Arena, which barely houses NHL requirements for seating.
Yeah. And you can't, in today's age of arenas, you can't play in a hockey arena that barely has 5,000 people. And even that doesn't sell out. That should tell you, that should be as apropos as ever as to how apoplectic the Arizonans are to hockey.
I mean, when you look at it, there's even smaller cities that have bigger arenas. Like, look at Wichita. They got the Intrust Bank Arena, and that sits over 15,000. And they barely sell out anything because they only have an ECHL team and comedy shows. And when you look at Kansas City, they also have the T-Mobile Center. When you look at Houston, they got where the Rockets play, Toyota Center. And then you also got Salt Lake City. I'm not too sure what the Utah Jazz play in, but I'm pretty sure that's where what used to be the Arizona Coyotes will be playing. And that house is definitely more than what Mullet Arena does. So the big problem was that Gila River Arena ran the Arizona Coyotes out. They had to play in Mullet Arena for the last 2 years, and they're just fed up.
Yeah, I don't blame them. And they're the former Arizona Coyotes will play in the Delta Center, the home of the Jazz. And there's it's like we talked about just a moment ago. Winning teams, big arenas. All right. It took a miracle for the Cardinals to get State Farm Stadium. And why do I say it took a miracle? Because they wore down Sun Devil Stadium. They wore down Sun Devil Stadium. Finally, the government conceded. The fans conceded. They're trying to get into the Arizona Cardinals, but after the last couple of years, I don't know. I mean, look at the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers once upon a time played at Miami Arena. Now they have their own place. And oh, by the way, they participated in the Stanley Cup final.
Yep, that one was a heartbreaker. But the big thing that really brought more attraction to the Florida Panthers, it wasn't the second round, it wasn't the conference final, it was that first round upset over the Boston Bruins. And I know Shane Lake won't be too happy about me talking about that as a Panthers fan. So, but yeah, it's just insane to think that Arizona. I mean, I'm surprised Arizona Cardinals are even considered a decent team, but you know,
Right.
maybe Marvin Harrison does something over there if he does get drafted there.
That's a
The
huge.
Arizona Diamondbacks, they've been growing a lot more because of Corbin Carroll, and then the Suns. You got Devin Booker making noise there, taking them to the playoffs, and then recently, I think you got Kevin Durant there as well. You got a superstar.
Yep.
What do these three teams have in common? They have a generalized superstar. Diamondbacks, Corbin Carroll. Arizona, you could argue Kyler Murray is their superstar. You got also the NBA. You got Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. What do the Coyotes have? Logan Cooley, maybe rookie, coming to the league. And then you also got Clayton Keller, who's kind of more of a veteran, but he just doesn't fit superstar status yet.
That's a strong maybe. And the other three teams already have participated in a World Championship Series or have won
or their stadium has hosted a championship, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, State Farm Stadium has hosted two of them.
Yep, and one of them has been considered one of the worst. I'll argue that.
No comment here. I mean, I won't disagree. I will not disagree at all. Now to the fun stuff. Well, actually, let's hit this. Who has the best odds for the number one pick in the upcoming NHL draft?
Well, according to a bunch of research I did, aka looking at the standings, the San Jose Sharks are definitely going to be having the highest odds. But in the last few years, even the highest odds have not received the number one overall pick. The Ducks are also going to be in the run for it, but I'd argue that the only team in the East that maybe has a shot at the number one overall pick is the Columbus Blue Jackets, and that is it. Because the East has
West.
Yeah, everyone else in the East has been fighting for a playoff spot since Game 20. Like, everyone knew that this year was going to be a great year in the East, but the West has just been pretty much locked since Game 1.
Yeah, the West is insane, and I love it. Do my Blackhawks have a chance at the number one pick again?
They are up there. I'm pretty sure they're top 5 in odds right now.
We'll see what happens there. Now, let's go to the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you talked about it just a second ago. The Western Conference is crazy, but it's also locked. You pretty much knew who was going to get into the playoffs from the Western Conference, top to bottom. We'll talk about the odds of a certain team in the West repeating as Cup champions. We'll get to them in a minute. Out of the gate in the West, who surprised you and why?
I'm going to be honest. I was going to say Nashville, but Andrew Brunette, great coach. I'll say that. Great coach. I do not know why Florida got rid of them, but Paul Maurice has been great too. But the biggest surprise, seeing LA back. Like, they've been running recently a 1-3-1 system. And a lot of people in the league argue that is not hockey because it's just the most defensive-minded formation. But the fact that the Kings are back in the 3 seed, locked in at the 3 seed, is pretty surprising to me.
I would say that it's surprising to me, but then again, it's not. It's like it's one of those times where that a team needs to make a comeback, and the Kings had just been on the cusp so many other years before. I mean, since 2014 when they beat the Hawks in the Western Conference Finals and actually won the Cup in 2014. They've been close so many other times, and now they're locked into a top 4 seed. That's got to feel good for the folks in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and then another team I wanted to touch on. How about the defending Stanley Cup champions only barely squeaking into this year's playoffs?
Yeah, the West was locked and loaded, and everyone thought, myself included, that the Golden Knights would just roar through the West. That has not been the case, as you have teams like the Dallas Stars. We mentioned the Kings. What other teams in the West have surprised you?
Again, I actually gonna have to say this. Nashville, like they have the weapons. They've had the weapons. It's just they haven't really either made playoffs or had much playoff success.
Right.
But with Andrew Brunette as their coach, I can definitely see them coming out of the first round. But they got a tough Vancouver team to play in the first round.
How about Vancouver? How about those Vancouver Canucks and the way they've roared in?
The Vancouver Canucks, I think it was just mainly the players that they've been trying to develop finally developed into what they needed them to be. Elias Pettersson and Quinn Hughes are to name a few, but they just have insane depth. It's a Panther situation. They have depth, and that depth has helped them all year to where even if some of their best players have gotten injured, they can always throw this other guy in and just be fine.
Yeah, and that's that's one thing you need in hockey. You need superior depth. And I go back to my Blackhawks from 2010 to 2015. They've always had a deep team that allowed them to make a deep run. And you mentioned Vegas barely getting into the playoffs, but they do have a chance to defend their Stanley Cup title. It's going to be a long road for them. The surprise team for me, and this is them coming off of a Western Conference Finals appearance last year, has got to be Dallas.
I mean, I can't argue against that. Pete Dubois is just a great coach. It's just I think they made some I don't know if they made any moves in the offseason, but I'm pretty sure they did. But Jay Gottinger has just been an insane goaltender, one of the top in the league. And you also got Tyler Seguin, even though he's getting old, he's been playing well. And Jamie Benn has been leading as a captain, not making any dumb mistakes like he did last year. I think just with the combined, then they also got what's his name, Robertson. They also got him around there, looking to just prove that the Stars could win a cup. And I think, if anything, this is their best chance.
This is their best chance, but I'll tell you another surprise team, not just the Stars at the top of the standings, but in the 3 spot, the Winnipeg Jets. They have been building for this since they returned to Winnipeg. And now here they are sitting here they are in the 3 spot. And man, who saw this coming with Winnipeg?
Not many people, honestly, because of a lot of the moves that they've made, they've been very questionable, including getting rid of center Kevin Stenlund and letting him go to Florida. But then you also got to consider they got Josh Morrissey, they got Connor Hellebuck. They used to have Mark Scheifele, I know that, but they got Pierre-Luc Dubois, they got Nikolai Ehlers, all these superstars in that team. And then also, again, it's depth. You got to have a lot of depth. That's what gets you far in these playoffs. I mean, how in the world did Florida make it so far? Because they got depth throughout the AHL and the NHL. They got a great list of players. And same thing with Winnipeg. You go to their Manitoba Moose, that's their AHL affiliate. They got some great players down there.
They do. They do indeed. I will tell you a wild card in the West. You said Nashville is your wild card. My wild card is the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh yeah, because of how they started the year, that makes a lot more sense than that. I think just thinking about it a little bit. I mean, yeah, the Oilers started this season and they sucked. They did not look good whatsoever.
Not
but
at
then they
all.
brought in McDavid's old OHL coach, and he's just been guiding this team even without McDavid on the ice.
You know what's helped Edmonton? Killing the penalty. Because at the start of the season, they couldn't kill a penalty to save their lives. I think they opened the season like 2 for their first 25 in killing penalties. Now they're one of the best PK teams, not just in the Western Conference, but in the league. That's a big turnaround for them.
Yeah, I'm just quickly pulling it up. Penalty kill, they are currently at 13th, but that's still in the top 16 in the league. That's over 50%. But in terms of penalty kill, like, you got to look at the East. Like, the majority of teams over there is East.
Yes.
But it's the Canes, the Rangers, the Flyers, the Lightning, the Panthers, like all of these names they are the best at penalty killing, but honestly, Edmonton has been getting better at the penalty kill. It's just that start of the year that killed their penalty kill percentage.
Man, the final couple spots in the East have yet to be decided, but look at the top four: Rangers, Carolina, Bruins, and your Panthers. 112, 111. I'm saying the point totals 109 and 108. 4 points separate the top four seeds in the Eastern Conference. And Florida has been dynamite lately. Talk about your Panthers and what got them on a roll.
Wow. Okay. So we started this year. We looked pretty mid. I'll say that. The Panthers weren't looking too good. Everyone was like, "Oh, the Panthers are frauds. That run was a fluke." But then something happened after Christmas. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was just Barkov got a good gift for Christmas. He got a new stick, but something happened. And Maurice was suddenly happy.
Yep.
Because then we went on that win streak. Everyone knows about that win streak. There was like, I think 5 active win streaks going on at once at one point. And we improved our penalty kill. And how about Sam Reinhart? 50 goals in a season. He didn't do it as fast as Gretzky, but still 50 goals is a lot of goals.
In a season, man. I look, I've been a fan of hockey since 85, and the old Edmonton Oilers, the Wayne Gretzky era, made me a hockey fan. 4 years later, I got hooked on the Blackhawks. But wow, just that scoring prowess. And Florida can beat you a bunch of different ways. And what launched Florida into this current run is the comeback they had last year against the Boston Bruins.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of that confidence. And Matthew Tkachuk, Alexander Barkov, they've been really great assistant captains. And I got to say, our defensive depth is looking great this year. To name a few guys, you got Nico Mikkola. He was played for the Rangers and the Blues before he came to Florida, and he was a pretty solid defensive player. He wasn't too much, but then suddenly, when he got to get paired with Gustav Forsling, the best plus-minus player in the league, suddenly he's now one of the best defensive depth pieces we have. And then also you got, of course, our top line, I believe. Actually, no, Forsling is with Ekblad. I mean, with Montour. When Mikkola got with Montour. And then also we signed veteran Oliver Ekman-Larsson and brought back good old Cooley to our defensive depth. But the big surprise for the Panthers has actually been in the goaltending spot, and it's not from Sergei Bobrovsky. It's from Anthony Stolarz. If you go to NHL.com/stats/goalies and you look at save percentage, and you scroll down at number 7, you get Anthony Stolarz with 26 games played, a 23-15-7 record, and a .926 save percentage. With a 2.03 goals against average.
That's insane.
And keep in mind, this is among goalies with 20 games played or more. Well, of course, you got the few guys like Yaroslav Askarov, Louis Domingue, Matt Murray, and Yanniv Peretz, who played one game or barely played a game. Like, of course, Yanniv Peretz, he had like 12 minutes of ice time, and he got a 100% save percentage. But still, Anthony Stolarz has been one of the greatest depth goalies I've seen in a long time. And that's including like you got Ullmark and what's his name? Ullmark and Swayman. They were a great goalie tandem. But at the end of the season, did Swayman have a .926 save percentage? No. Did he let up less about 2 goals a game at best? No, he didn't have those stats. And then, of course, you got Bob, who's pretty inconsistent, but I'm hoping once playoff comes around, he's going to turn into playoff Bob that we all know and love.
All right, time for some cup odds and some favorites, and they are presented by BetUS.com. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Let's start in the East. Who are your 4 favorites to not only make the Stanley Cup final but win it?
I'm gonna take 2 from the West and 2 from the East.
Okay.
I'm actually the only 1 seed I'm gonna take is gonna be the Vancouver Canucks. Because again, depth. You got all that depth in there. You got Elias Pettersson. You got JT Miller is one I didn't mention. And then you also got Thatcher Demko in net. He's been insane all year.
He's been crazy all year.
Another guy who currently I believe leads goalies in all stats is on the Winnipeg Jets. That's my second team from the West. If the Winnipeg Jets want to win a cup now, you got to do it now. I don't think there's any other time to do it but now. Considering the fact that Connor Hellebuck is probably getting a bit old for this, considering goalies do retire earlier than most skaters.
Yeah.
You got to get Hellebuck a ring now. I don't want it to have a Henrik Lundqvist situation to where he never won a cup in his career, but still went to the Hall of Fame. I want to see Connor Hellebuck win a ring.
I'd love to see that happen. All right.
And
your two teams from the East?
Honestly, this one's a bit harder to pick, considering the fact the East hasn't been locked up yet. But just from the, let's just look at the Metro. I love the Rangers, but I also like the Canes. The Hurricanes Carolina's pretty good.
Carolina's my pick. I love what the Hurricanes are doing as an organization, and they climb up and up and up each year. I'll go back 3 years when they faced off against the juggernaut called the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they pushed them to 6 games. From that point on, it's led them to this, and Carolina is my favorite to come out of the East.
I think a lot of people would agree with that, and I agree with that too. A lot of people, they're going to assume I'm going to say Florida. And I am, because it's honestly, like, Boston's a great team. But they're playing Tampa in the first round. You got to realize that if the Bruins win even if the Bruins win the last 2 games of the season, if the Rangers win one more game, they clinch the conference. That's one of the situations. The Rangers win one more game, they clinch the conference, they get the second wild card seed to play against. So I'm just going to assume that that's what's going to happen. And you look at the Bruins and you look at Tampa. What does Tampa have that Boston doesn't? Andrei Vasilevsky. He's always been a talk of the playoffs for years now. And people are going to be like, well, what about that last year? What about that last year? That was, from what I saw in that Panthers-Leaf series, that run from the Leafs was just a fluke.
I believe it.
I mean, and then you look at the Leafs goaltending this season, they haven't been great. And do I want to see a battle of Florida? Yes, I do. I would love to see a battle of Florida. I wouldn't mind playing Boston again too, to shut them up. But I see the Western Conference Final being Vancouver, Winnipeg, and the Eastern Conference Final being a rematch between Florida and Carolina.
You heard it here first. The hockey god with his debut. He's going to take you to and through the Stanley Cup playoffs, all the way through the final, the draft, and a whole lot more. Shane Creighton joining me here on the Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Thank you very much, my friend. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming on as part of the crew.
You're welcome, man. I love being here already. It's always nice to have something or somebody to talk about your favorite sport with.
We got more stuff for you after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now, the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
We were always hippies at heart, I guess, and that was one way that we showed it before we became full-time RVers.
Yeah, we were definitely living small and minimally.
What made us decide to go with Battleborn was everyone from their top leadership team down to their service department helped us so much the whole way through. Our relationship with Battleborn is so much more than business. And me and Dennis love to jam together. We've played together multiple times, and that's been an awesome transition. Be able to learn so much more about the business, also just make some awesome friends.
Hey everyone, I'm joined by my old friend, Mr. Ellis Williams, AKA Mr. Biggs. You called me and you told me, you said, man, I got CarShield and it worked. What made you get it?
I have this old SUV and I know the manufacturer warranty is about to run out. I don't want to get stuck with expensive car repairs.
Right.
So I gave CarShield a call. Coverage was very affordable and there was no long-term contract. A few months after that, transmission went on my car. I took it to my mechanic, they called CarShield and saved my family and I $2,400.
CarShield is America's #1 auto protection company. Their administrators have paid out over $1 billion in claims and cover most vehicles from 5,000 to 150,000 miles. You'll receive 24/7 roadside assistance, courtesy towing, rental reimbursement at no additional charge.
Give CarShield a call today before it's too late. Remember,
CarShield cars go farther.
Protect yourself now against expensive auto repair bills. Call 800-513-9263.
I want to do a TED Talk, but I don't have anything to talk about yet. I'm getting there.
Life is for the living. We're not here that long.
You can learn anything you want to learn without any money spent.
What do I really enjoy? What do I really want out of life?
I am your host, WIZE.
Are you in a life-holding pattern? Well, this is for you. Welcome to the Stuck in My Mind podcast.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light-optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Yes, I still call it Twitter, and it's official SIT Morn. Yes, the ID is back that I put away about a year ago, but got it back. We're gaining some momentum, and so we've launched that ID. Okay, gentlemen. Let's talk draft picks. And okay. I looked at NFL.com yesterday before I passed out, and I got an idea.
Okay.
Let's go over 2 key picks for each team. Now, my cheat sheet is over here to my left. And we'll start in the AFC East with the Buffalo Bills. And they have round 1 pick 28. And they have Brian Thomas Jr., a wide receiver from LSU. Because of the departures or the trade of Stephon Diggs, and the departure of Gabe Davis.
Well, that makes sense because they're going to need a lot of wide receiving help for Josh Allen next season.
Yes,
and this is going to be the way to do it.
Yeah, because Josh Allen I don't think has anybody to throw to. Victor, your thoughts?
Yeah, they need to fill that hole that Trayvon Diggs left. They're gonna need to fill that hole, and honestly, getting another wide receiver, probably get another 2 wide receivers, I would say would be really good. Try and go for a 4 receiver spread, honestly.
Round two, pick 60. They go defense with Javon Bullard, safety from Georgia. Again, another good selection because if there's one thing that has troubled the Buffalo Bills on their defense, it's been their secondary. They have been beaten over the top so many times. Patrick Mahomes, hello. This will help.
This will definitely shore them up. I mean, that's what they needed is somebody that can roam between the numbers, and this is one guy who can definitely do it.
Yeah. And you want to have a potential deep threat, someone that can actually take out the secondary too.
Well, that's the Buffalo Bills. Now let's go to the Miami Dolphins. They picked 21st overall in the first round. And because they lost Christian Wilkins in free agency on their defensive line, they go defense and they go Jerzon Newton, defensive tackle out of Illinois.
There's a run stopper for you.
Yeah.
He will plug those gaps up.
Yeah.
I took a look at Jerzon Newton's film, and that's a big boy, but he is mobile as all get out.
It's not often you get that combination.
Yeah.
He's got the anybody?
he's got the build of a Hummer, but the speed of a Mustang.
Yeah. And that's one area where the Dolphins need to shore up is their defensive line. Again, losing Christian Wilkins in free agency, the strength and the quickness of Jerzon Newton off the ball. And they're looking at him to be an immediate contributor to that defensive line. Do you guys agree?
Easily.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
he will be an easy impact player.
They pick 55th overall in the second round, and they go Jatavion Sanders, big tight end out of Texas. There's one position that the Dolphins, there's one position that the Dolphins have not used in a long time since Keith Jackson. It's tight end.
Yeah.
And this is one guy who can definitely benefit from it is they'll end up being able to spread the offense out more. You're going to have somebody to take the pressure off of Tyreek Hill. And this is their way to do it.
Well, the position of tight end is kind of sort of going through a renaissance with, of course, George Kittle and Travis Kelce. And, of course, the Bills have their 2 tight ends, Dawson Knox, I beg your pardon. So the tight end position is experiencing a renaissance in the East. So let me go to Shane first. How big will this big tight end help the Miami Dolphins offense?
He'll be the one to get you anywhere from the 5 yards to be the deep threat. This guy is going to be good for Miami down the road. I mean, granted, he's not exactly a Brock Bauer type, but he's still going to be able to do a lot of damage.
Victor, your thoughts?
You just took the words out of my head, not even out of my mouth, out of my head with the renaissance of the tight end, like you said, George Kittle and many others. I think what this also helps is for the quarterback, be it Tua or anybody else who's in the Dolphins QB, it helps them because they can play as either an extra tackle to block off the edges, maybe bring some yards for CMC. But not only that, you also have another wideout that you can use. Set him up in the slot or something like that.
Exactly.
Little side note here. I've ruffled a lot of feathers recently by saying Tua is not long for the NFL, and that's because of 3 concussions he took 2 years ago. And I believe they rushed him back. Now, I also have the opinion that he should have walked away when he had the chance because they were going to pay him anyway.
Dude.
But he's still playing.
That night.
This past year, he was not the same. He was off.
No, he was tentative. Off. He was beyond tentative last season.
He basically played. I don't want to say he played scared, but he kind of, like I say, he played tentative. Here's the thing: that night game, when Tua got smacked, and his his fingers were not all there, that's a scary moment. That's a moment where you could say that person could be going through like the last twitches of their life.
Yep.
Tua should have backed off because he's had 3 concussions already in very rapid succession. I do not want to see a Chris Benoit situation with Tua. I'm not saying he will, but with concussions, CTE comes in next, and a whole long list of other brain injuries that could really hurt him in the long run, not just in his career, but in his life.
And that's why I suggested that Tua back off, that Tua walk away, because
I agree.
It's not like he took 3 concussions in a span of 2 years. He took 3 concussions in a span of 14 weeks.
14 weeks. 2 within 3, I think.
2 within 3 weeks.
2.
Yeah, and then the third one was what? 7-8 weeks down the road after that.
Yeah.
He got lit up that season.
And a lot of people would blame the offensive line, but no, it's like as a coach or as a trainer or somebody, someone should have stepped in and said, no, you're sitting down for a good 3 weeks. You're sitting down. You're not doing anything until we are certain that you have healed your head injury.
If I were Mike McDaniel, I'd have sat him out the rest of the year.
Easily.
Because you're talking about a prize quarterback that already had a hip injury that he hasn't recovered from.
Yes.
You can tell that in his mobility.
Yes.
That hip injury he suffered against South Carolina when he was in the game with his team up 38-0. Why didn't you pull him then?
Right.
And now he's been beat up far before he's supposed to be beat up, if that makes any sense. Far before he was supposed to be beat up.
It makes sense. It's just the fact that he never got any real offensive line help. And when he tried to scramble, I hate to say it, but the boy is too ignorant to have gone down. He tried to get the extra yardage. And I remember one of those concussions came against the Jets. They laid into him.
Yeah,
they did.
This is the thing I've noticed that's starting to alarm me with most quarterbacks is they try to play brave. But that doesn't mean that they don't slide and take the guaranteed yardage and go down without getting hurt. They want to try and fight like a running back. That's not your bag.
No, it's not.
That's not your bag.
They try to play brave, but they don't play smart.
Exactly.
And Tua Tagovailoa is the example
the latest,
of that.
The latest victim of that.
The last quarterback I can remember, my generation, that could actually stand up and get the yardage after getting smacked. You're looking at guys like Dante Culpepper, Donovan McNabb, Michael Vick, guys like that. That's not the way this game is being played.
No.
Well, for one, those guys are exceptions to the rule, not necessarily the rule.
Right.
That's why I'm saying these are the last guys I remember that could take a smack going downfield.
You know who else tried to do that? Justin Fields.
Look what happened.
It's going to rob him, and it's going to rob him.
Yeah, because
it's going to rob him.
I remember
look at Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I remember one situation where I think it was Montgomery goes in for a touchdown, and Justin Fields lays a hell of a block. Gotta give it to the young man. Hell of a block. That's not your bag, bro.
You got no business making that kind of block.
That's not your bag. You are putting yourself in mortal danger, especially if you try to throw blocks with linemen as a quarterback. As much as linemen want to hit the quarterback, you need to
that's a steak dinner in front of a pit bull.
Yeah, it is. When we talk NFC East next segment, I have a statement about Jalen Hurts that a lot of Eagles fans are not going to like, but it's becoming true. Let's go to the Patriots. They picked 3rd overall. And the selection I have in front of me, courtesy of NFL.com, is Jaden Daniels out of LSU.
That's not surprising considering who we've got basically at quarterback right now with Jacoby Brissett, Nathan Rourke, and Zappy.
But if they draft Jaden Daniels, do they take the ball out of Rourke's hands?
No.
I hope not.
If anything, I would see Zappy or Jacoby getting cut. because you will never see a 4-quarterback team. Not a chance.
No.
Because
You'd be
it
foolish
was
to see it.
Because it was my thinking. It was my thinking that they give the ball to Nathan Rourke now.
That would be the common sense play. But again, as I have said many times on this show, it's Robert Kraft.
Yeah,
it's Robert Kraft.
It's Gerard. It's
But
Gerard Mayo.
It's Mayo.
It's
mayonnaise.
Gerard Mayo. He's not. Yeah,
It's Mayo. It's Mayo, and it ain't no Hellman's.
No, it ain't. It ain't no Miracle Whip either.
No, it is not.
It ain't no Miracle Whip either. So we are all in agreement that Nathan Rourke should get the ball now for the New England Patriots.
Yes.
But as Shane has said eloquently so many times over, it's Robert Kraft.
Look, everyone can see that. Heck, Stevie Wonder playing Pin the Tail on a Donkey can see that this should be Nathan Rourke.
John Cena can see that.
Yes.
And we can't see John Cena. You're right.
I was about to say, insert the joke here.
Look, Ray Charles can see that.
Yes.
That Nathan Rourke should get the ball right now.
Yes.
And he's even 6 feet under, blinder than the rest of us. He can see that.
And Daniels can sit and learn behind a mobile quarterback like Nathan Rourke and get better.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Daniels could move in LSU. Daniels could move with LSU.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the fact he's got to be able to pick up now the quicker tendencies of the NFL, because you didn't have in the SEC all these guys 100% coming after you unless it was Alabama or Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the teams in the SEC and then later on in the playoffs ran 3-4 in zone.
Yep.
Alabama and Georgia ran smash mouth no matter what you want to call it. So you had to get used to that. A lot of the teams in the AFC East, let alone the rare occurrences you go in the NFC, are running not just 3-4, but they're going nickel dime blitz.
Right.
He's got to be able to pick that up.
And I don't think he can just yet. Nathan Rourke can, but I don't think Jaden Daniels can or will, at least not yet. So I think the Patriots have got to give the ball to Nathan Rourke, and they got to give it to him right now. If they've studied any film on Nathan Rourke, they would give him the ball right now and have him run the first team offense, give him the ball here at OTAs, and then have him run the offense all the way through preseason, because you want to get Nathan Rourke as many snaps as possible.
Right.
To get used to that system under Gerard Mayo. And frankly, I don't think Gerard Mayo lasts 4 years.
I give him 3.
I'm being generous and giving him 4. Very generous. To the New York Jets, as we finish this off, they picked 10th overall.
The Patriots had a second pick. I'm surprised you didn't try to figure out what that was going to be.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. They picked 34th overall in round 2, and it's Amarius Mims, offensive tackle out of Georgia, according to these projections in front of me.
There's someone else who can stop up the gaps. And we need that for the new quarterbacks.
Yep, there is a pick that the Patriots need. And thank you, Shane, for catching that error. There is a pick that the Patriots need. Because the last 4 or 5, I'll even go back to Tom Brady's final year. They have been horrible on the offensive line. Horrible.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm sitting here as a Patriots fan, and I'm saying flat out, our offensive line has been pure dog you-know-what the last 6 years.
Yeah.
And that's why we've gone through so many quarterbacks, is the fact that we can't keep one behind the ball.
We can't.
Yeah. And if you can't keep a quarterback behind the ball with a good offensive line, then you're going to suffer the same way not just the Patriots, but many other teams have suffered.
Look at how our run game suffered in the last handful of years, even when we had Zeke behind the ball.
That's true.
And
part
Zeke
of was a killer.
And that was that's a twofold reason for me. That's a twofold reason. One, they were scared to give him the ball, and 2, they didn't have the offensive line.
Well, it didn't help that we didn't give him the ball till our primary ended up going down.
True.
And that's true, too.
True. But, man, our Amarius Mims, that's the projected pick, second-round pick that they have at
that would be smart
overall.
That would be a big smart play right there.
Now we go to the New York Jets, and at 10th overall, these projections, especially the one here on NFL.com in front of me, select Brock Bowers out of Georgia.
Ooh.
The aforementioned tight end of the draft.
Yeah.
I'll say my only
problem.
experience with Brock outside of watching his games, I'm actually using him on my Madden team. He's ranked a 93. He lives up to it.
He does.
He's a 93 and he lives up to it.
He does.
Here's the problem I have with the Jets selecting Brock Bowers.
That's gonna make McCarthy happy.
And this is an inside joke, but this is also a very serious question.
Yes.
Who's going to throw the ball to him?
That's a good point.
It ain't going to be, well, Aaron Rodgers is still there when his Achilles.
It's going to have to be Aaron. It's going to have to be Aaron. Aaron's going to have to man up this coming year.
Watch him get knocked out in 4 plays again this year.
Oh, man.
Because I don't think you can take...
If we want the supervillain to come out again,
we'll get it.
100 in less than 5 plays.
We'll get it.
We
get
are
it at some point.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it. But Brock, you know what? I'll speak on Brock Bowers later because I am enamored with Brock Bowers.
The guy is good.
Very good.
Since his freshman year at Georgia.
We talked about tight ends. We were talking about Brock Bowers.
He's one of the biggest reasons Georgia did what it did this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's one of the biggest reasons Georgia won 2 consecutive national championships.
Yep.
And was unfairly squeezed out of the playoff this past year.
Right.
That's a discussion for another time.
We always got the show tomorrow.
I think we're going to do it then. Round 3, pick 72. Projection says Tyler Nubin, safety out of Minnesota. Now, let's just get one thing straight. The Jets need help everywhere.
Yes, they do.
They need help everywhere.
But they need a lot more help in the secondary.
They need a ton of help in the secondary. A ton of help in the secondary. And
That's
Nubin's
where they got burned last year. Not just in the AFC East, but overall. They got burned in the secondary.
Everybody was throwing over the top on them.
Because they had no one back there. They had no one within 15 yards of basically anybody. You could just dump it over the top. Almost a guaranteed score.
And you turn a 10-yard gain into a 50-yard gain. How many times
exactly.
have you seen it? How many times have you seen it? It's a 10.
We
turn a 10-yard. You turn a 10-yard gain into a 50-yard gain because the Jets don't have a secondary.
No,
simply put.
No, they don't. It's not like when they had Revis Island.
Yeah,
I didn't like Revis, and I have several reasons.
You may have not liked the cockiness of the guy, but he backed it up on the field.
No, he didn't, and I'll give you an example.
Oh?
They tried to compare Revis to one of my favorite secondary players of all time, Ronnie Lott.
Ew.
That's a tough comparison.
Now do you see?
That's a tight comparison.
Now do you see where my ire is?
Well, the thing is, that's not on him. That's on people who are comparing him to a guy like that. That's a bad comparison.
That's a horrible.
That's the media doing it.
Yes, that is a media comparison, which was wrong.
Didn't see it.
And I'm pretty sure the majority of that came from New York media itself.
Oh my God.
And we all know how shoved up their own asses the New York media is.
To borrow Shane Lake's words, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Let's take a pause for a break. And when we come back, we'll break down 2 key picks in the NFC East. And, of course, we got to start at the top of the ladder. Snowman in the Morning with Shane Lake and Victor Locke. Back in a minute.
We bring all your leads, no matter where they come from, into a single conversation stream that supports text, email, video messaging, Google Business Chats, and even Facebook and Instagram DMs so you can respond faster and more efficiently than ever. Connecting you instantly through text message so the conversation doesn't end when they leave your website. When it comes to turning all those conversations into customers, Power Brand Systems makes collecting payments just another convenient part of the combo so you get paid faster no matter how they prefer to pay.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
The master producer and the EP of all EPs, Mr. Cole Johnson, supplying that bump back for us. Dr. K, my beautiful wife, supplying the voice. This is Snowman in the Morning. It is Tuesday, April 16th, and we hope that you've enjoyed the show so far. We've been on the WNBA Draft. The hockey god made his debut.
That's my dude. He and I do the NASCAR coverage, and I'm telling you right now, this boy knows what he's talking about.
Y'all have so much fun, and I had a ball talking to him.
Oh, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
I told him after he came on this morning, you're my hockey god forever, all right? Because I can't cover everything. And, he wrote me back, and he said he had a fabulous time. So, Droid, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
He came into the Discord while I was doing my thing earlier on in the day, and he was bouncing off the wall excited.
I love it. I love it. Speaking of bouncing off the walls.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved?
Why?
Because that's the team we have to lead off with in our two key picks.
I get that, but we did not need Tam.
To paraphrase Ron Simmons, bam.
We do not need Tam.
I am so glad I didn't take a swig before you started playing that, because I would have ended up having another spit take on this damn show.
We did not need the national anthem for the Moronic Republic.
I'm glad everything I need is over here, off to my right. There's already been one spit take on this show. We don't need another one.
You're making me wish I had vodka in this thing early, Snowman. Come on now. Don't make me drink at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we do not need early.
Don't make me drink at 8 o'clock in the morning, considering some of the stuff I had to read to get ready for this.
Oh, for God's sake.
All right, let's get down to
the stuff
business.
we had to talk about in the pre-show.
Right?
Oh, my God. You know what? That's the longest pre-show we ever had. Because normally our pre-show is what? 30 minutes?
Yes.
15 to 30, depending on what's on
15
the tap.
15 to 30 minutes. Victor woke me up this morning. Well, I was actually driving at the time. But Victor texted me and says, when you get back in the house, we need to have our pre-show. So, raced in. We talked an hour, 30 minutes.
Y'all got my ass up for it.
Right up until I had to fade everything down to get ready for this. All right, let's get to work. NFC East with our two key pick series. And, of course, we have to start with the reigning... Oh, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. The reigning NFC champion, Dallas Cowboys.
NFC East champions?
Which is not the championship Victor wants me to say, but you already know how I feel about that.
Well, no. You said reigning NFC champions. I'm like, no, that's San Fran.
NFC East champions.
There we go. I'm not giving Mark probably more than what they deserve.
Nor am I. But at 24,
they don't deserve to breathe.
But at 24 overall, Victor, you begged me this morning in our projections meeting, in our pre-show meeting, because I didn't reveal the picks.
No, you did not.
I did not reveal the picks, and Victor growled at me. Victor growled at me.
I was too busy waking up.
I know. You were shoving caffeine in your system.
I still am.
I know that. And Victor growled at me and said, look, you got to tell me who the pick is. I'm not telling you a doggone thing.
Until
now. Victor's going to be happy because in this projected draft, keyword, capitalized.
Keyword projected.
At 24, they select Jonathan Brooks, running back out of Texas.
Yeah, I had a 2-foot grin there. I had a 2-foot grin there because we needed a running back, and again, This is all projected because somewhere I know Gerald Jack Daniel Jones will take one shot too many, rake a hand up under some young blonde skirt, and screw this whole thing up.
Or drink too much prune juice and be in the bathroom by the time this happens.
Or that.
Oh, dear Lord.
But if this comes out, this is a great move for the Cowboys because now they fill the hole of running back.
Which was vacated by not only Ezekiel Elliott, but Tony Pollard.
Pollard as well.
And what the Cowboys discovered with Tony Pollard, he wasn't the man anyway.
No, he wasn't. He couldn't run aggressively.
No.
But they
thank
still
you, Victor. You said the key thing. You said the key thing that Pollard didn't fit that other Dallas Cowboy running backs in history, Tony Dorsett, Emmitt Smith, to a point Ezekiel Elliott did.
Run aggressively.
He didn't run aggressively.
One of the edge marks, you see it with CMC, you see it with a couple other running backs, especially Derrick Henry, is when you're going to go in between the guard and tackle, when you're going in between numbers.
In the box.
Exactly. You need to hit the hole aggressively.
Lower the boom.
Fast. Yes. Jerome Bettis used to do the same thing. Beast Mode did the same thing.
Jerome Bettis was one of my
Marshall Faulk.
That bus had
Same
a
thing.
plow on it.
Exactly.
Saw Jerome Bettis play at Notre Dame.
So,
plow on the bus. Then he still had a plow on that bus when he retired.
Yes, he did.
The issue comes down to with Tony Pollard was that he was trying to be more that finesse runner. Let me make a couple of quick jukes and get out of the way.
More the Barry Sanders type.
Right. But at least with Barry Sanders, he also had that ability to hit the holes aggressively too.
He also bounced it outside a lot more.
Right.
You know what who Tony Pollard reminded me of? You're talking about wanting to make a couple of jukes. No, let me change that. You know a mistake that the Cowboys made? They tried to turn him into a running back instead of leaving him as a kick returner.
Yeah.
He should have stayed as a kick. He should have stayed as a kick returner, period.
Remember, the Bears made a similar mistake.
Devin Hester.
Yes.
Yep.
Devin Hester. Not surprising. Not surprising at all. And to couple that, this projection has the Cowboys at number 56 selecting Brandon Coleman, offensive line out of TCU. So they're staying in state according to these projections. And again, I like the word projections.
Yeah.
They're staying in state for these.
At least Dak Prescott's getting some help in front of him to try to keep his ass upright.
Exactly. And again, these are two key picks that I think the Cowboys need to make. And I would like to see them make it when it comes draft time. I like to see this happen because you're addressing two key issues. The offensive line, which has been suspect.
The
running backs, which have been more suspect.
Beyond sus.
Beyond suspect.
So you're helping out Dak. You're helping out the offense. And I honestly, I couldn't be happier with these projections.
Well, Tyron Smith is gone from Dallas.
Yep.
The offensive line.
Yes, he is. Yes,
so they need someone to replace him and be the dominant part of the offensive line that they need him to be. Let's go to New York. The New York Football Giants. And then, again, what I'm reading is a courtesy of NFL.com. Want to make sure I get that in there. Number 6 overall.
Oh, no.
This is why I stopped drinking.
I didn't reveal this to you guys in the pre-show.
Oh, no.
All I warned the guys and the producers was, you're going to laugh when I tell you who the Giants are projected to pick, according to NFL.com. At number 6, the Giants, they have the Giants selecting Drake May out of North Carolina.
So it's either going to be Wise who's unhappy or Drew who's unhappy, because I saw it being projected that Drake May would go to Washington.
Yeah, I saw one projection having him going to the Redskins also. But apparently, this is the year that the Giants move on from Danny Dimes, who hasn't thrown much dimes since he got paid a bunch of dimes 2 years ago.
True.
And he got paid all those dimes because he led his team to the playoffs where they got smoked by the next team we're going to cover in a moment. That, of course, being the Philadelphia Eagles. Drake May. You can reach into the second round and grab a quarterback that'll fit that system better than Drake May.
Fair.
In the ever immortal words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Well, they say May's strong arm, fearless attitude, and thick overall build will be a welcome sight at MetLife Stadium. You know, it'll be a welcome sight at MetLife Stadium. Phil Simms, Jeff Hostetler, Eli Manning.
A winning season.
And all three of the quarterbacks I just named actually not only had a winning season, but
Super Bowls.
Oh, yeah. They all won Super Bowls.
Danny too. You know what else would be helpful over at Giants Stadium? A defense that would actually play better than what they've got.
Funny you should mention that, because at 47 overall, this projection has them selecting Jaden Hicks out of Washington State.
Ooh. Isn't he, what is he, a defensive tackle?
Safety.
Oh, secondary help. They need that.
They definitely need that. That's off the shopping list.
What is up with the New York teams needing severe secondary help?
Because it sucked.
Yeah, because they got embarrassed in the secondary and got burned deep.
Yeah. Just go back to the Giants' 2022 playoff divisional round game against the next team that we're covering, the Philadelphia Eagles. And speaking of the Eagles, and I know I'm going to get barked at by Cool McCain for this, but I've got to do it. At 22, they are selecting, according to this projection, Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo.
Well, Philly does need a better secondary as well.
Right.
And he will provide it. He is a shutdown corner.
4.33 in the 40, 20 bench reps at 195.
Oh.
You know? Howie Roseman may be taking a gamble, but this one could pay off for them.
It really could. He's going to have to be physical in the NFC East.
Yes.
Especially in the secondary.
That's the one division that has always been down to the last game or two to determine who's going to win it.
Not only that,
2 years, it's gone down to the last game.
Not only that, if you know about the NFC East, we know how to hit.
You do.
We know how to lay the lumber.
And what is interesting, Shane just said, the last 2 years, it's gone down to the final game.
It really has.
One with Philadelphia 2 years ago. This past year, Dallas.
Yes.
Claiming the NFC East on the last day. Now, they have the Eagles concentrating on a position I think has long been needed, especially with the retirement of Jason Kelce. They go offensive guard, Zach Zinter out of Michigan at number 50 overall.
There's somebody who can step up into those shoes.
Michigan has been good with guards.
They have. They really have.
Pretty good with guards.
And they've always had a lot of beef in that organization.
Yeah.
And this is upon the assumption that Cam Jurgens will move to center to replace the retired Jason Kelce, which I think he will.
Oh, more than likely he will.
I think Jurgens will move to center to replace Jason Kelce. So Zach Zinter out of Michigan. And to highlight a point that you gentlemen just mentioned, they produce a lot of offensive linemen out of Michigan.
They produce a lot of big players out of Michigan in general. Look at all the running backs that have come out of Michigan.
John Runyon, anyone?
Yep.
Anybody remember him? The interesting thing for me out of Michigan, I want to see who's going to select Blake Corum, the all-state, the all-American running back. Because his stock has fallen for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't either.
I think he underperformed in the combine.
Forget the combine. He
I was going to say that
championship.
Yeah,
that's
why
why
like the combine.
I'm thinking the way Chris Dietz is. I take the combine with a grain of salt.
Yeah, because that's only
most have to.
That's what 1 or 2 days.
3.
Usually, yeah,
3
it's a 3-day deal.
So it's a 3-day
3
deal.
days.
So you're going to judge off of a 3-day spread
Without pads.
Without
equipment,
pads.
Without
without any
equipment.
preparation, with no preparation.
Mhm.
Over
without
the years.
60,000 and without 60,000 people looking at him.
Yeah. And ignore the years that these guys have been on the field. I take that over the combine any day.
No, most common sense would, but also you got to realize, look at most of the owners in the NFL.
True.
Idiots.
Well, except the guys who run the Chiefs and the guys who run the 49ers. They're not idiots. They draft for the future. To a point, Philadelphia does too.
Mm-hmm.
But we got to go back and look at what happened to Philadelphia the last 7 games of the year. They collapsed.
Heavily.
They crumbled like a soft-baked cookie.
Mm-hmm. And I love soft-baked cookies. Damn you for saying that.
Let's not bring up soft-baked cookies, please.
It's too early in the morning for that. Now I want some.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Might as well bring up Cinnabon if you're at it.
I'm gonna sock you in the beard, Shane.
Might as well bring up Cinnabon while you're at it.
Ain't nobody calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, are you still involved? Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still involved? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still involved. Woo, shut up, my boy. I'm still involved.
Why?
Oh, I'm still them boys.
Why'd you do that?
Yeah, like, what did I do to
Shut
you?
both of you up.
What did I do to you?
Well, how does that hurt me? I'm a Patriots fan. I just can't stand the dumbass because he's a dumbass.
I feel like Wiser Hefe.
I saw the look on your face.
I feel like the legendary Wiser Hefe. Whatever do to you? What I do to you?
You gonna have me answer that question aloud, live?
I didn't say anything. What'd I say?
Don't have me push this button again.
You better not.
I'm not.
I swear to God, I will jump across this screen if you do.
That's an automatic technical foul right there.
I see you, Rocky. I see you. I see you, Rock. I see you.
That is disgusting.
What, me doing this or what I played a moment ago?
What you played before. I give respect to The Rock. Trust and believe.
Yeah. Well, it's either that or this.
Daddy, how long has it been since the Cowboys won the Super Bowl?
Oh!
Yeah. I gotta admit, I was so mad when I first saw that. Had to get up to the EP of all EPs. That wasn't just that wasn't just a comedic uppercut. That was a ha-ha combo.
Mm-hmm.
That was a straight out left-right jab, man.
That was 2 jabs, a cross.
That was a Tyson jab.
Hook, a right hook, and then that old left uppercut.
That was a Tyson combo.
I'll say Joe Frazier.
A couple jabs and then an upper. That's Muhammad Ali and the rope-a-dope.
Oh
that's what that is.
I was about to say, when we start playing Nintendo and Mike Tyson's boxing challenge.
That's Muhammad Ali with rope-a-dope. All right? That's all that is. That's all that is. All right. Now to Washington.
What'd the Redskins do now?
Walla Washington.
Adam Peters, who was part of the new GM, Adam Peters, who's in Washington, was part of the 49ers group that made Brock Purdy very relevant.
Yes.
I don't know if he can do it with this pick that they have been projected to take.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Shane, don't you drink anything.
All right. Let's hear it.
J.J. McCarthy out of Michigan.
Huh?
the former Nazareth Roadrunner and national champion, they have Washington selecting him at number 2 overall.
Repeating my question, who?
I'm pulling the whole Kane head movement thing like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Now, this is a project in terms of J.J. McCarthy.
Okay.
Unless, well, they have to do something now because of the departure of Sam Howell. Of course.
Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. Good grief. Sam Howell.
Sam Howell.
Shut up.
I feel like I'm in a Peanuts cartoon. I'm just waiting for Lucy to pull the football away.
Dumpster Pelican extraordinaire, Sam Howell.
Drew, this is for you.
By God, it's turned bowling shoe ugly.
Yes, it is.
So you replace Sam Howell with an inconsistent, incompetent. Well, I can't say incompetent. I mean, he plays the most important position on the field. I will repeal that. With an inconsistent J.J. McCarthy. What?
Yeah.
Let me hit rewind and go. What?
J.J. McCarthy. Huh?
No relation to
like you guys.
Ryan McCarthy. No relation to Ryan McCarthy.
None whatsoever.
Man,
and thank God, no relation to Pennywise.
No, please,
all right?
no.
Man, Coach Gibbs could have made a better pick than that.
Yes.
And he's off dealing with his race team right now.
I mean, okay. We'll leave it there.
I don't need to scratch my head. I just want to see the morning.
I just want to see what he does with that team.
Yeah,
and Adam Peters has a lot to build with that team.
I really don't need to scratch my head this hour of the morning.
How do you think I feel? At number 36, they have him selecting Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle out of Arizona. The release of Charles Leno makes finding a left tackle a priority.
Yeah.
True.
I can see how this pair will work now.
Yeah.
I can see how this pair will work.
And honestly, they've been needing someone to seal off the corner for a bit, so
but
that really helps.
Their offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury.
Who?
Tell me how this is going to work with Cliff Kingsbury.
It's not. I don't think.
I don't know how. In the Dyna blue, yellow-bellied, red-blooded hell this is going to work.
I don't know either.
We'll find out in about 5 games when they're 1-4 or 0-5.
Yeah.
We'll find out in the preseason. Well, actually, you're right. We'll find out 5 games into the season. That's our 2 key picks in the NFC East division. Tomorrow we'll attack the North divisions. And I'm going to have a whole lot of fun with those. Take a pause for a break. When y'all get back, we say goodbye to a legendary voice who has entertained us for many, many years.
And Snowman may have a neck brace on after I get done hitting him with a stunner. We'll be back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more.
so fans can fan.
The original Think Drink is back. Level up with proven ingredients formulated to crush your competition. No gimmicks, no jitters, no messing around. Just high-potency results that keep you moving day or night. There's a new nerd in town, and we came to play. Nerd Focus. Smarter than energy.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Down the stretch we come on this crazy Tuesday edition of Snowman in the Morning, and we thank everybody for joining us on all of our audio and video networks. Remember, Labor Day, big things are going to happen to kick off season 11. Stay tuned for all the news about that.
As you guys can see, Snowman ain't exactly rocking a neck brace, so we're fine here.
I wasn't going to rock a neck brace. You weren't going to touch me. This is too much fun. You know that.
Let's talk about the retirement of a true legend in broadcasting.
Indeed.
Man.
Indeed. I mean, I never thought I would see the day, but when the news shot across my phone at about 6:30 yesterday evening, I was in shock. And the news is this. 85-year-old John Sterling, the longtime voice, the longtime 36 years,
yes,
36-year voice of the New York Yankees, has called it a career.
I damn near cried.
As a Red Sox fan, we're supposed to hate everything going on with the Yankees, but I can't hate the career this man put up.
I doggone near cried.
This man is an icon.
Yes.
Who else can come up with a home run call individually for players like John Sterling?
What are some of your favorites? I mean, Stantonian Blast.
Stantonian Blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Here comes the judge.
Mm-hmm.
When Gleyber Torres was playing for the team.
Labor Day.
It's Gleyber Day.
It's Labor Day. Gregorius makes Yankee fans euphorious.
Yep.
Yeah.
the man was he was an auditor. I got to borrow the word from Paul Heyman. This man was an auditor.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew how to tell the story.
If he ever writes a book, I'm getting it.
That man, I call him Mr. New York.
Yes.
When you think about New York, John Sterling is one of the first names to come up. Now, I know you talk about Patrick Ewing and Derek Jeter and all those guys, but I mean,
Mariano
Rivera, but you got to talk about John Sterling. I mean, my God.
He worked so long at WFAN.
Yes.
I mean, if there's a few broadcasting names you can associate with the city of New York, two of them I know. John Sterling, of course, play-by-play for the Yankees, and for the longest time, Mike Francesa.
Yep. Yeah.
Who was at WFAN for 35 years.
Yeah.
And I got to play a couple of things.
Okay.
That highlighted who John Sterling was. Okay. Oh, man.
You got why I shedding manly tears right now.
I am because this is crazy.
It is. I doggone near cried because, my God, for most of my childhood, especially watching some Yankee games, John Sterling was the man.
John Sterling was the voice.
Yes.
John Sterling was the voice.
Anytime I was catching highlights on MLB.com, they always have the radio call of the game.
Yes.
And John Sterling was the voice of the Yankees. Anytime any big moment was going on, you heard John Sterling, especially after a win.
Yep.
Let's go to 2002. This happened.
4-11 lifetime against Trombley. The Yankees are a base hit from getting very close to tying this game. A little old single. The pitch swung on and hit in the air to deep right center. It is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. Jason Giambi hits the bottom of the 14th. 1 out. Walk-off. Grand slam. And one of the best games you'll ever see. The Yankees rise from the dead in the bottom of the 14th and win the game 13-12. The Giambino, his proudest moment as a Yankee. They mob him at home plate in one of the wildest finishes you'll ever see. And by the way, ball game over. Yankees win. Ah! Yankees win.
I love that.
The Giambino.
You know what?
I love it.
I have to say this.
Mm-hmm.
In my almost 3 decades of covering baseball, no matter what level, high school, college, even some professional, I borrowed John Sterling shamelessly.
Now, you know what I find funny is when I was younger, actually in the early days of the internet, one of the things I loved to play on the computer was this site called Candy Stand. It was Wrigley. It was like Wrigley and like Lifesavers. All the candy companies came together with this little like video game arcade, and they did a lot of sports. One of them was the home run derby.
Oh yeah!
And every time I hit a home run, they would say, "It is high, it is far, it is
and
gone."
it is gone.
I'm like,
I've used that a lot.
We both have.
It is no longer. It is no longer borrowing shamelessly. It is now paying homage.
Yes, it is.
Speaking of paying homage, his partner, because for a long time, a lot of people don't know this. For a long time, Sterling worked alone.
Yes, he did.
He did.
He worked alone in the broadcast booth. But then he was paired with Susan Waldman, and those two were together for 20 years. Now, courtesy of the Yes Network, Waldman's reaction.
News just broke a short while ago that John Sterling, play-by-play radio voice of the New York Yankee, has announced his retirement. And Susan, you've been his partner for a lot of years. Were you surprised to learn that this is going to be it for John?
Well, no, actually, I wasn't. I did know, and it's been 20 years. But you got to remember, John and I have been friends since 1987 when I was doing updates on WFAN, and he came in as a guest host. And that's the first time I met John. He was doing a talk show, standing up with his hand in his ear, and I said, this is a very interesting character, but boy, was he good.
A character nonetheless. That first meeting, what stood out to you the most?
He stood up for 4 hours doing a talk show, and he was interesting, and he knew what I was talking about when I made musical references, and we had conversations about theater and books and all these things, and it was great. And obviously the past 20 years, nothing will ever be the same. That's all.
What's it been like working with John for the last 20 years?
He's the most unique human being I've ever met in my life. The biggest compliment I can give anybody is that he's an original. There will never be another John Sterling. There just can't be, and that's the biggest compliment. Every day was a unique, funny, strange, wonderful experience.
He's had legendary calls over the years. Is there one in particular that stands out to you?
You know, there's a couple because I know the stories about them. One of my favorite one was that he got a letter from somebody. They wanted him to stop saying A-bomb from A-Rod, and then A-Rod told him that his mother loved it. And so John said, well, if A-Rod's mother loves it, I'm not going to stop. And the other one, I love Georgie Juiced one, obviously, Robbie Cano, Don't You Know? But the first one, I'll never forget Burn Baby Burn, because it just came out so instinctively, and it was just great.
I always think of him at the end of games when the Yankees win, going through is the Yankees win.
Do you know I've never seen that? Because I'm always downstairs. I have never seen him stand up. I saw it on film. I have never been there live when John goes into his Yankees win. I've never seen it.
What do you think it's going to be like at the stadium on Saturday when they honor John?
I hope everybody appreciates who he is and what he gave to this team. I hope it's as emotional for him as it is for me and for everybody else. Just think there's 3 generations who have grown up listening to John Sterling, and just the emails and texts I've gotten from people all over the country, people I don't really even know. I know he's going to love it. He's very emotional, and I hope he just has a wonderful day. And, he is allowed to enjoy the rest of his life.
Has this been emotional for you as well?
Well, yeah, but, we've known it for a while, and finally it's there in black and white. Yeah, it's pretty final.
Wow.
I know what she's talking about because I was flipping around on YouTube yesterday, and ironically, the algorithm for YouTube was bringing up a lot of John Sterling's calls, and he literally does this a lot of the time when he's either for a home run call or the Yankees win thing. And I equate this to guys that I grew up watching, with all the sports I knew. Growing up, I was watching like Ken Squire with NASCAR. I was growing up with Marv Albert in the NBA, Pat Summerall, Al Michaels, John Madden.
Pat Summerall. John Madden.
These guys, I put him right up there with them. An iconic Jim Durham. A lot of iconic voices in the time growing up. Original. These are the guys that didn't just study the game. They wrote the book. They wrote the book on the game.
They were the game. I mean, you talk about like some of the legends, Jim Durham, Gene Honda, the Bucks, of course, Jack and Joe, Ken Harrelson, the Hawk.
Yep.
They all have their original flair about them. No two announcers, at least from what I've seen, really are the same back in those days. Now everyone's kind of cookie cutter, but like
there's a few that are still out there. Don Orsillo is organic.
He's still doing it. He's still doing it.
But majority of these guys, and I'm going to say this now, you look at some of the guys nowadays, like with the other sports that I mentioned. You look at Mike Breen. You look at Tirico. You look at, for NASCAR, Mike Joy, Rick Allen. They all borrowed something from the predecessors.
Yes.
Because that's who they learned under. Yep. It's going to be a vastly different world without John Sterling.
New York is not going to be the same. It's going to be really weird those first couple of games after John Sterling hangs with the mic. And people are like, I don't remember this. Like, this does not sound normal for me.
Vin Scully, anybody?
Vin Scully, yes.
Vin Scully. Oh, man. You mentioned Jack Buck, Joe Buck. For me, growing up in Chicago, Jim Durham. John Rooney, Wayne Larrabee. Oh, man.
Johnny Red Kerr.
Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr got me ready for basketball.
Right?
And at the same time, John Sterling gets you ready for Yankee baseball.
For me, Jeff Joniak. For Chicago Bears.
What's crazy, like I said a few days ago, Snowman, up here in Maine, way back when, we got WGN, so I know who you're talking about.
Yep.
The Bulls game. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Ed Farmio.
Farmio. Oh, my gosh. You know what? Since we're paying homage to the old schoolers, I got to pay some homage. We're going to continue to pay homage throughout the week to John Sterling.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets his day on Saturday, and thank you for that.
Rightfully
thank you,
deserved.
New York, for that.
Here's Ed Farmer with the finish of Mark Burley's perfect game in 2009.
Oh yeah.
U.S. Cellular. Sox 5 runs, 6 hits. The 2-1 to Bartlett. Swing shot to short. Ramirez has it, throws. Burley hits the perfect game. His second no-hitter. He no-hits the Tampa Bay Rays. People going crazy here at U.S. Cellular. He's mobbed by his teammates. A perfecto.
You know the crazy.
I screamed my head off.
The crazy thing about that game is, I went to go get my car fixed, I went to get my car fixed over.
I
at this,
remember.
Yep,
I
because it was right on
remember.
Grant Street where I went to get my car fixed, and I'm just getting
Mhm.
like the alternator put in and everything. And I get a call from Brian. I'm like, what's up? He's like, are you listening to the game? Like, no, what's going on? Burley's perfect through 8. What? And I
couldn't believe it.
I asked one of the
Couldn't believe it.
mechanics, like, can you please put on the game? He said, oh, yeah, we got it on. Just turn it up for you. All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the second out. I'm like, oh no, because it was a launcher deep middle, deep
I
center
remember.
field. I'm like, oh, this is gonna kill it.
And then Dwayne
Wise,
Wise.
yep, Dwayne Wise snatches it out of the sky and saves it, and then we're all sitting there waiting for the last out to be recorded. And once it hits the glove, the entire shop goes ballistic.
Oh yeah.
I came back. I was not trying to get food, but I came back with McDonald's and beer.
Oh, we were celebrating.
Yes, we were.
We were celebrating that.
God, that
we were
was such an
celebrating
amazing
that day.
thing. And Farmer really made that call so memorable for me.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't overly outlandish like say Hawk was. He's a little more reined in, but he still made it so electric to listen to.
Speaking of Hawk Harrelson and Ed Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
That ball hit deep into left center field. Wise back. Makes the catch.
What a play.
Dwayne Wise makes the catch. What a play by Wise. Mercy.
Swinging a long one. Left center field. Wise on the run. He's at the track. He's at the fence. Makes the catch. Yeah. He took away a home run. Wow, what a play.
Dwayne Wise taking away a home run just coming into this game as a defensive replacement.
Man, announcers like that.
Yes.
I'll give you another name of someone who just recently retired, as in like a handful of days ago. For Boston, Mike Gorman.
Mike Gorman. Mike Gorman.
From the Celtics.
Yes. Mike Gorman.
Ended a 43-year career with the final home game of the Celtics.
Wow. And the late, great Tom Heinsohn was his partner for many, many years on the Celtics television broadcast. And I love listening to Mike because Mike also worked for ESPN for a long time when he covered the Big East.
Yeah, he did.
When he covered the Big East, Mike Gorman was the voice. You won't have voices like that anymore. And to John Sterling, man, I have no words to tell you what you mean to this broadcaster here. Because I have borrowed some of your calls. I have borrowed some of your phrases. Hell, I even got to making up nicknames and making up calls for some of my favorite players over the years. But no one, my man, could do it like you. And no one will ever do it like you, John.
Mm-hmm.
You, like Susan Waldman said, you are allowed to have your day and live the rest of your life. 85 years old. I got one more clip to play. Now, let me show you let me play for y'all the capacity of John Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking out some shows and I just happened to catch Damon Amendola, the DA show.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy on there, Miraz. He's now going on to bigger and better things at WFAN. And I just wondered, why am I watching this? Take a listen.
Here it is, the secret guest.
This is John Sterling with Maraz Fat Journal, a Vegas bachelor party running log. The only running that will be done. Wednesday night, 2 Amstel Lights before my flight, and a slice of very below average dollar pizza at JFK. Land at Vegas time, 11:30 p.m. Throw down 2 tall boy Modelo's, and at 3 a.m. a grilled chicken sandwich with fries from Johnny Rockets. looked down at my phone and realized the DA show for Thursday is already starting. So I should go to bed. Thursday, breakfast, 1 blueberry donut at Dunkin' Donuts. Lunch, chicken nachos at Yard House. Dinner, basic burger and fries at Circa. St. Patty's drink count, 1 yardstick Kona, Big Wave, 4 Corona Premieres with green dye, 6 Bud Light aluminum bottles, 6 Jameson shots at the 9 Fine Irishman Party, 3 Captain and Gingers on Fremont Street. I walked virtually the entire strip, plus Fremont Street. This was an active day exercise for me. P.S. I forgot after Yard House, I scooped up a Ghirardelli hot fudge sundae when the Jack Rabbits screwed me on an early big bet. Friday, ate breakfast by myself at Hash A Go Go. Chocolate chip pancakes, 3 turkey sausage links, and egg whites to stay healthy. Lunch? None, thank you. Had a bucket of Corona Premieres at the Flamingo Pool Party, danced with 5 women that looked like they could all have played offensive line in college football. I guess that was my experience for the day. Dinner, Brazilian Steakhouse group dinner. Amounts get hairy, but I roughly consumed filet mignon, skirt steak, top sirloin steak, lamb, garlic pork chop, chicken thighs, bacon-wrapped chicken, various Italian meats, rice, beans, salad from a salad bar to stay healthy, mashed potatoes, fried banana, a piece of cheesecake, 5 more Captains and Gingers to end the night. Saturday. Breakfast, apple fritter. Lunch, Korean beef, Bavarian pretzel. Wings split at the table, watching Kansas not cover the spread. Malibu and Diet Cokes, about 7 of them. Dinner, brisket, pulled chicken, cheese fries, grilled vegetables to stay healthy. Would be up for basically 18 hours straight after dinner due to flight delays before I got home. Won't see a scale from me until Mother's Day at the earliest. It's over, man. What a disgrace.
Look at the look on Shane's face.
Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked. Don't be shocked if don't be shocked if audiobook companies don't start trying to
get John Sterling.
Get John Sterling.
Oh, they will.
Oh, he's going to be narrating until the Lord calls him home.
Oh my God, that was beautiful.
They need to get him on the next MLB game.
They really do. Oh my God.
If
John
he's on
Sterling on
MLB game,
MLB the show?
MLB the show, yes.
I'll buy it.
Yes. I will get a PlayStation 6 or PlayStation 5 just to get that game if he's
just to have that game and just to play it to hear him. We got to go. John, this is for you, buddy. We love you. We'll miss you. And you're everything an old school broadcaster loves. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they're simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are. John Sterling did. And we hope you are too. So long, everybody.